Good day and welcome to the Mail and Guardian's weekly live hangout where we feature the hot news topics of the week and your questions. My name is Varashni Pillai and I'll be talking to our reporters behind the stories today. Today everyone is talking about the explosive report in this week's Mail and Guardian where we reveal the shocking state of our president's finances. To talk to us through the report and what it means are two reporters from our investigative unit, amaBhungane, Craig McKune and Sam Soul. Sam, give us a brief summary. What is the story about at its core?
Look, the story is really about the contents of a forensic report that was done by KPMG in September 2006 and completed just ahead of Jacob Zuma's appearance in the Pietermaritzburg High Court on charges of corruption at that time. Now that report was never tabled, it never became public, because the charges were struck from the roll a couple of weeks ago, 10 days ago or so. We gained access to that report.
A lot of our readers have been saying there's nothing new here. These are the same allegations as before, and he hasn't been affected by them in the past. Perhaps
the most striking and what a lot of people have commented on is the extra £1 million that Jacob Zuma received from former President Nelson Mandela just days after he was fired by President Mbeki. To me, that was very interesting politically. It looked like Mandela really got involved and put his money into the fight between Mbeki and Zuma. I mean, clearly he played a very important role in allowing Jacob Zuma to survive the kind of legal onslaught and the repercussions of his financial irresponsibility. Yeah. The former president might argue that it was really a donation in the interest of the country, because it was in the interest that Jacob Zuma survive and become president. I think all the way along, the question is, what has Jacob Zuma made of all the second chances that he's got, that he's received? And I think that's the question people need to ask. Has he learned his lessons? Has he, taken the gift that Mandela gave him and used it, for the country's best interests? Or has he continued with the pattern that was set up before? I think that's the question people need to answer.
Now, Craig, your story about the banks was pretty damning. I mean, I don't think a single big bank was left out there in their dealings with Jacob Zuma. What does this say about our financial institutions? Should we be worried?
It is revealing, if not damning. These kinds of relationships between powermongers and big corporates around the world are, we tend to suspect them, but we seldom get this kind of insight as to how the powerful and the politically powerful can be favored. Personally, I'm affronted that the bank that manages my money and would make decisions on my credit applications appears to have abandoned basic sound banking practices to favor a particularly reckless politician.
While we've been chatting, I've had another question come in from one of our readers on Twitter, and he says, given the strength of the stories, why was the Mail and Guardian concerned about being interdicted?
When courts look at granting an interdict, etc., the strength of the facts is only one aspect that they may consider. There are a whole lot of technical attacks that one could make. I'm sure there would be an argument that we were in illegal possession of this document, and we frankly thought that as the press code makes provision for this, the press code as it currently stands, that there was a serious risk of us being prevented from publishing this information.
Craig, I've just had a very interesting question from someone called Lloyd on Twitter, which I wanted to ask you. And he says, does it scare you to know that information such as this will soon be classified and illegal to report on under the secrecy bill? I mean, some of the stuff you reported on from the bank seems to be internal documentation. What would happen to you if the secrecy bill was in place as is? Would you face sentencing? Would you face a fine?
I think this document itself probably would have been classified, and yes, we would face big trouble, and yes, that makes me very nervous. I mean, yes, for myself and the work that I do, but more for the broader impact on our country.
I wonder if either of you want to comment on a comment I've just received, which says, "I want to leave the country. The last hero we had standing, Nelson Mandela, his name has been sullied. We have no heroes left." What is either of your response to that?
Don't go. don't go. Please stay here and help work with us to foster an environment of accountability and positive work towards building this country.